Hi guys, it's me, Beauty Shit with Noelle here, and yesterday in my video I said I was going to do a brow tutorial. However, when I got to the brow portion, my camera had actually quit recording, so we're going to do a brow tutorial today. The only difference is that I already have one on, and I'm only going to show you the one side, so that it's a shorter video. Pencils, there's crayons, there is tint or gel. I have a pomade that I meant to bring in too, but who knows where that is. There's powders. This is dirty as fuck. Sorry guys, I keep the plastic on the front of there so that the kids can't stick their damn fingers in there. And then more powders and brow gel. Sorry, I couldn't find the original packaging for this one, so sometimes they keep that shit. So, and then there's stuff like this that has powder and gel in it. So, there's tons of options for stuff that you can get. Some of these are my favorites, some of them not so much. Right now, these are the things that mainly I do my brows with on a regular basis. I do not have one standard way that I do my brows every day. Depending on the look I'm going for, I will use a powder one day and a tint the next day, and a tint and a pencil the next day. It just depends on what I have going on, what I have time for too, because some things can take a little longer than others. And so, the biggest mistake that people make is that they get one color. Or they only use one color on their brows. You know, the thing that everybody likes right now is this kind of a gradient effect where it goes kind of light, dark. And the way that I achieve that is by using multiple products so that it's light and then it fades to an actually darker color. And a lot of times people just assume that you're using one product, so people are like, how did you do that? It's nothing special, guys, really. I have no magical skills that you don't have. None. So I'm going to kind of show you guys some of the tricks and the secrets that I know to help you get good brows that I don't think are common tricks and secrets that are out there. So let's get started. Okay, so one of the best things that you can do for your brows is to let them grow out. This is mine after about a year's now worth of growing out. I had a friend who had her eyebrows microbladed, and she said it was the craziest thing because after she got her brows microbladed, suddenly she had brow hair. And I was thinking, why now does she have brow hair? You would think that would work the opposite, like it would ruin your brow hair. And I started thinking, I bet when she tweezes, she probably goes around where they microbladed. And so she's not over tweezing that area anymore. So I started coloring my brows on and then tweezing around them after the fact so that I didn't over tweeze either. And suddenly, within a year, I had fully filled in brows. If I can find a picture of what my brows looked like before I did this, I will post it here right now. If I can't, then it is what it is. But if I can, it's your guys's. So that's the best advice I can give, is fill it in to the look that you're trying to achieve with your makeup, then tweeze around it. Make sure, you know, you can just put the hairs on your hand so that they're not all over your face, okay? Another secret, besides the use multiple colors, use multiple products, you know. Some things will make it look like you have hair on your brows, you know, because they have fibers in it. Other things will make it look like it's flat, you know. You gotta play around a little bit and figure out what's good for you. One of my favorite products right now, and unfortunately I didn't bring it in here either, is the Hard Candy Brows Now Stick. One side has a highlighter, so you can highlight underneath your eyebrow when you're done, and the other side has like a fibrous gel, and it's amazing. You can't, like with the tint, I'll usually roll it on my hand and then I'll work from off my hand. With the Hard Candy powder, you cannot, or gel, you cannot rub it on your hand first. You have to take it straight off the brush and use their applicator so that you get the hairs in your eyebrow hair. But that's like the best thing I can tell you for a beginner. If you can go and get that, it's like maybe $7. 10 if you go to someplace expensive like Shopko, you know. I mean, it's cheap. That can drastically change your everything, you know what I mean? Even just that one product. And that one, actually, you don't really have to get in 2 shades. If you're just going to do this, just that, I mean, just put it on there. It's what it is. It's still going to probably look better than what you have going on. Just make sure you get the shade, like, 1 shade lighter than your hair color. Oftentimes people try to match to the back of their brow for their hair colors. And I always say to match to the front of your brow. Get 2 shades lighter than your hair color, because it's going to end up looking much nicer and easier on the eyes and less harsh on your face. Even if you like have black hair, you know, and so they don't make a darker one after black. You get black for the tail and get a dark brown for the front, you know. A blonde with a medium brown. Just make sure you don't get any browns that have an auburn tint to it, or you'll look ridiculous and be fucking pissed. Just saying. One of my favorite things to do is to use a powder and a tint at the same time, because the tint will bring your hairs kind of back to life. So that's kind of the look we're going to do today, is a powder, tint, maybe a little pencil mix. So this thing is really cool. It's made by Etude House. I got it off of, I think, Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. It was definitely online because it came in the mail. And I planned on using it more. Unfortunately, it came in my wrong shade, so I ordered another one. But it's this really cool, like, slanted pencil that would work fucking phenomenal, at least to draw this front part and the tail. And then even if I went back in over it, because it's a really flat color. It also came with, like, a little spoolie on the end, which is cool, you know. So there's just tons of new things that they're coming out with, and because of the fact that it's kind of slanted, it makes it a lot easier for, like, doing the little hairs in the front. Like, if I had the right color, I feel like this would be my favorite thing right now. And so I'll have to check back in with you guys once I get the 2 shades of my color that I like in this, and do a review for it where you guys can see how it ends up turning out, because this stuff works really good. It's just not my correct shade, so we can't use it. But I think it's pretty cool. I think you guys would enjoy it anyway. So we're going to get started. We're going to use this spoolie because my other spoolie's in the other room. And so we're just going to kind of go through here and make sure that any makeup that was on my face or in my brows is gone. Then the best thing you can do is, I like these shorter brushes, because of the fact that when you put your face up to a mirror, a longer brush handle hits the mirror and you can't get as close to your face to see what the hell you're doing, and that really sucks. So I went out of my way to find a super good precision brush. Sorry guys, I touched my gel brush and it got black all over my hand. I went out of my way to find a super precision eyebrow brush that was like high quality, because they make tons of ones out there. Like this was one, not such high quality. This was one. This one actually is not too terrible. I like it because of the separation in the bristles. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it has separation in each bristle, which is kind of cool. It makes it a little bit nicer for making hair appear. And so I know this brush kind of looks like it would be cheesy, but it's actually a fantastic brush. It just doesn't look fancy, but we fancy. I'm telling you, we are still fancy. So I'm going to start off with this. This is the e.l.f. Brow Book. This is a really popular product because it's really cheap. It's like $2-3 maybe on Amazon. So, and if you have Prime, it's even less than that because you don't pay for shipping or anything. So it's a pretty good deal. And recently I've been talking to people, and this is like the #1 product that people seem to have. So I figured we will show people what we can do with this. So in this, it has, they only make 2 things, a light and a dark. So your color selection is low, which does suck. So in this, you'll get a powder and a gel. So we're going to go in with the powder first. And we're actually going to put the powder all over these bad boys. And as usual, you know I'm not working with a mirror because that's what I do. And you see how I don't start. I'm not going to start way up here where I'm going to have the brow start. I'm going to start back here. I actually like to start a little even further back, like maybe here, so that anything dark is much further back. The other thing I like to do is to go to the top of the tail first. I'm sure that we would like call this the end of the brow or something else, but I call it a tail. So, you know, even just feeling that part, and you can see it's already makes a good difference on my face. Like, that wouldn't look awful, although the underline I did might not look great, but you know what I mean. And so we're just going to go in this way. I always fill in this tail relatively dark, just because that's, you know, the look. Okay. The other shitty thing about brow powder is that it's very easy to end up with parts underneath your brow that maybe don't look as nice and sharp underneath, in which case you just go in with a flat brush, a flat packed brush, kind of like you would use for your eyeshadow, and put some I like to actually put high coverage foundation on it and go in, and it also hides any little stubbles you may have from not tweezing, which is kind of cool. Okay, so then we're going to go in and use this for the tail. And then I like to use, I'm going to try to use as little products here as I can so that you don't feel like you need to go out and buy everything I just used, because that's the only way it's going to work. Slowly over time, you will learn all of my tricks with every single kind of product that exists, because I will always include at least one brow in every thing I do, especially if I'm doing a different kind of brow for that specific video, because I would like everyone to be as confident in doing their brows and feel good no matter what product you have. If I left my makeup bag at home and I needed to use a girlfriend's and all she had was pomade and we matched the same color, I could use her shit. If all she had was a pencil and we matched the same color, I could use her shit. If all she had was powder, I could use her shit, because if you learn it in every way that can be done, then it doesn't matter what you have, because you can do it. Then when you see stuff that's on sale, and it doesn't matter that it's not the kind that you normally get, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You know, you learn the technique, and then everything else just kind of works with it. You know, that makes some sense. So up here, and remember, never sit there like comparing your eyebrows and go, ooh, I got this one up here. Sisters, not twins, okay? My best friend says that all the time. Sisters, not twins. You know, we want them to look alike, but we don't need them to be twins at all, because then that's going to look funny on your face too, you know? And these are all mistakes that we all have made. Everybody has had hideous brows at some point. You know, I mean, that's just the way it works. We all have to do it, you know. When I was a kid, there was no stinking tutorials. You didn't, you know, if you wanted to learn to do makeup, guess what? You were going to look ridiculous for a long time. And so junior high would hit, and you would figure out real fast the girls who were going to be those girls who just never really wore makeup. They did a little bit of mascara because it was hard, and you had to look stupid. You know, I went to school with pink and purple eyeshadow on, and everybody called me Mimi, like from Drew Carey, which also probably dates me, you know, because I'm a little bit older than a lot of people that do this. And, you know, because it was so vibrant and crazy, but I wanted to learn. You know, I wanted to learn. And so we didn't have videos to watch and go out contoured, perfect, whatever. There was no, you know, I had to go to beauty school to learn to do good makeup later, you know, that was perfect. I rocked my makeup for years, fucked. You know, we didn't get to do that. We didn't have beauty tutorials. We didn't have, you know, any of that kind of access. So there was no 14-year-olds walking around with perfect everything. You know, you didn't have that until you went to school later and figured it out from a teacher. You know, you just dealt with it. And so, you know, times have definitely changed. Everybody, you know, used to go through an awkward stage. Now it seems like 14-year-olds got better brows and contour, and they got every, you know, style trend down, where I'm like, you want me to do what? With what? You know? I mean, the world is very different with technology here. You know, there is no room, I guess, for error anymore, which sucks because everybody has to learn at some point. We all had to learn. You know, some people were just able to learn in their house on their computer and not be in the public eye. Oh, sorry, you guys. I'm taking this brow tint, the one from Ulta. This is my favorite shit. I use this every day. I use this every day. Whether I use the powder with it or the pencil with it, I almost always use this unless it's unavailable. And I always put it on my hand, and I go in and get it. And I use it always for this tail, and it's cheap. It's like $9. It's so super cheap. People think like, oh, if I have to go to one of those higher end, you know, beauty stores where, you know, that's not the drugstore, it's going to be expensive. No, it's not. Ulta brand makes tons of cheap stuff, and for the most part, most of it's pretty good. You know, there are a few things that I would say avoid. You know, do not get their liquid felt liners. You know, there's like one or two things I would say to avoid. But for the most part, I mean, they don't make terrible products. I like their setting spray, you know. People who go there know that it's cheap, you know, where before I went there, I would hear that and think like, oh, it's expensive then. No, boo-boo. It's not expensive. It's not expensive at all. It's like their generic brand. It's cheap as shit. And so it's actually the exact opposite. You guys. Yeah, it's actually cheap as shit. And so it's like their generic brand, you know. And, sorry. And so you want to get something that's high quality, but at a good price. Get that Ulta brand, man. I'm telling you. That's where it's at. You know, sometimes people think like, oh, you have to have the high-end makeup. Well, you know what? I did that before I had 5 kids. I cared about that kind of shit. I'd have, you know, I still have some of it because, you know, eyeshadows and shit, they last a long time. But I had to have the best of everything, you know, all of the time, expensive shit. And then I had 5 kids and life became not so much about me. And so, you know, I'm relatively trained in what is good and what is comparable to high-end. And I don't use, you know, things that suck. Okay, let's see if we can get this to... Okay, well, that doesn't look like a hair like it normally does, so... I knew there was going to be some hazard for me in doing this without a mirror, but... This is usually what I do. I'll go in here, and we'll just kind of... see if I can blend that puppy in there, because your natural brows, I don't grow any hair here, so maybe I'm not the only one, but I kind of feel like everybody doesn't grow hair here, because everybody's trying to do this and draw in these strokes. Okay, the other thing is, do not obsess on these guys. You can make them look bad. Sometimes when you sit there and you fuck with something too much, you'll ruin it. You know, you messed with it too much, you know, so don't do that either. You want to just go in, do it, you know, in a short fashion, but don't fuck around. If you fuck around, you'll be sad, you know. It'll be bad, trust me. I do it all the time, where I like want to look good so bad, and because I sat for too long fucking with shit, I fucked it all up. It's not good. Okay, we're going back in with this light powder, just to go back up here in the front now that we have that brow tint down, and we're going to go through and just kind of color in the spots that the brow powder missed. And I do not know why I do this. Everybody always comments on the fact that I like go back through and wipe shit off. Okay, so now we'll use some of this from the brow book. See, guys? That's it. Done. Done. And see? And look. Now it's like photo ready. Over here, I kind of sat and fucked with this one a little too much. And look, it doesn't even look as good as this one, you know? And of course, I'm going to just continue to fuck with it. But you know what I mean. Like, that was easy. That was quick. You know, another huge secret that I feel like nobody knows about is brow wax. Like, how often do you hear somebody say, like, oh, I'm out of brow wax? Like, never. And I only recently learned this, but I bought something that had it, one of these brow powder. This is what all came together. And it's an Ulta brand, you know, whatever. And this right here was brow wax. And I was like, what the fuck is brow wax? What do you use that shit for? So I went and looked it up, and it was like, one lady said you put it down first, and then you get the powder to stick to it. Another girl said you put it there, and then you use it to bring the hairs back to life. I personally kind of like that method, use it to bring the hairs back to life, because it does. It will make it look like flawless. I'm going to show you. You don't want to get a ton in there, because you will make your shit look so waxy if you do. Keep in mind, though, that like this kind, especially, I've seen different kinds. Some people use soap, which I have not tried, so I cannot verify that for you guys, but this does, it is like liquidy, so it will kind of move product, which is awesome for powder, because powder always tends to be like where you don't want it to be, you know, so then you can just kind of move powder around. Anyways, put it on top, no matter what, throw it on top, it'll draw out your hairs, and it kind of cements the brow in for the day. So you start sweating your ass off. I sweat like crazy because I'm cleaning all the time, or cooking, or chasing somebody down the street. I mean, 5 kids is crazy as fuck, guys. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it's not for the faint of heart. So I sweat a shit ton, and that stuff has made it where my brows don't really ever move ever again, you know. That Ulta brow tint too, I mean, $9, and it's not as good as like Wonder Brow. I haven't tried Wonder Brow, but I have seen like the commercials for it. Eventually I will try it. Like, I'm kind of dying to know. The problem is the price point, and I feel like sometimes people just say something's good because they got it for free, you know. In watching some of, I used to vape all the time, and so I used to do vape reviews all the time, and I always paid for the vapes out of my own pocket, so my views were never skewed. But I feel like a lot of people, when they do reviews, they tend to, if they got it for free, they feel bad saying that something sucks. And I feel like that's what happens sometimes. I feel like sometimes these companies send out this Wonder Brow shit to everybody, or not just Wonder Brow, anybody, anything, and they feel obligated to say, yeah, it's good. So I don't know what I think about it, but for 20 bucks, I'm definitely gonna like make sure that somebody I know says it's fucking bomb. So if you know if it's bomb and you want to tell me about it, tell me about it down below, because I really seriously want to know. Anyway, so that's our video, guys. I hope that gave you kind of a good idea. Like I said, don't obsess. Sisters, not twins. These are not perfectly the same. That's okay. They look great. It is what it is. slowly over time, I'll show you more and more and more little tricks and tips here and there. This is a good way to use the brow tint and this e.l.f. book. If you just want to use this book, that brown powder worked just fine for all the same stuff I did with the tint. The exact same, the darker brown gel, just go back through, make the hairs, and this is $3 brows, guys. I mean, and for a brow wax, you could get clear mascara for $1. I mean, I'm sure they still make that, and put it on there. It does the same effect. You know, there's tons of ways to do this that aren't $20 a pop. So that's my video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope that helps. If there's anything that I left out that you guys want to see the next time that we talk about different brow products, comment down below. If you like this and you'd like me to continue, please subscribe. It makes me feel good. I'm not going to lie. It does. It makes me feel good. So, thank you so much. I love you guys. I hope you have a good day. I'm going to go post this Valentine's Day look on Instagram in a little bit. Love you, love you, love you.